Evening, everyone. Good evening. This is Live NADEX Market Observation Volume 58. As you guys make your way on, be sure to like and share the video from whatever platform you're tuned in from. If you're tuned in from Facebook, like and share the video, follow the TeamAlliance page, turn on the bell. If you're tuning in from YouTube, like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your bell notifications as well. And if you're on Twitter, like and share the video and then retweet on your timeline. This will help ensure that people get notified and will have an opportunity to join us live. And if you're not already a member of the Facebook group, the public one, be sure to join the group so that you can receive notifications when I'm live, because for whatever reason, when I go live and I post in the groups, you always get a notification, although you won't necessarily get one from the actual social media platforms. Always. Like sometimes YouTube don't notify you. Facebook doesn't notify you for whatever reason. But the Facebook groups, you always get a notification from there. All right, so be sure to join the pub group. All right, so we're going to do some observation. If you guys have questions, please feel free to ask, especially if you're new. If you're new to the NADEX platform, if you're new to the TeamAlliance content, feel free to ask questions. All right, that's the only way that you'll know and get answers. All right, let me move this out the way. As of right now, market is moving around quite a bit. There's nothing going on from the horizontal perspective. Could potentially be something from vertical, though. I haven't looked from the vertical perspective actually for quite some time now. I kind of just shifted back to what I normally do in horizontal. I know that many of you are now doing the vertical perspective. And there are those in the group that kind of specialize in vertical. They'll share videos, like David, Melanie. They'll share videos and stuff in the group, recordings. Those are very helpful. I even shared a couple of screenshots. I have a bunch of videos that I also have shared in the group, all that have been created to help you guys understand that perspective in particular. So basically, when it comes to vertical, you need momentum. When it comes to horizontal, you need to have smaller candles dominating on the chart. So momentum for vertical is what range is to horizontal. Momentum forces the market to stabilize at high speed. Momentum forces the market to stabilize when the market is moving at an accelerated pace. When the momentum is high, it's so much force that the movement stabilizes. And that's something that is a necessity in order for you to trade the crossover with confidence. Now, in vertical, the momentum sets up a crossover. The crossover is not the setup. Understand. Momentum creating stability is the setup, whether there's a crossover or not. So what am I saying? In other words, even if there's no trade, you need the market to already be in the behavior that it needs to be in. Same thing applies for horizontal. For horizontal, we have to have what? Range. Ultimately leading to a barrier being created and clusters forming on the chart, which we call RCB. I think there's some confusion. I'm actually going to read something that was sent to me. Oh, this is okay. So actually, yeah, this was a question someone asked, and I'm actually gonna respond to this in a moment. But let me see something first. Hold on. I want to see something first. Let me see it. I want to see. Oh, while we're waiting, I'm gonna see if y'all get a kick out of this like I do. Hold on a second. I got some dad jokes. I've been meaning to share this like for about a week now, but I haven't really had time to come on to do any live, so I didn't get a chance to. But yeah, I got a couple of dad jokes. These shits are funny to me. I don't know if y'all find them as funny as I do, but they're pretty good. So hold on a second, because I had to write them down. They're real good. Uh, and I did have. Yeah. Okay. All right. So where's it at? Oh, here it goes. All right, I got the first one. First one. Why why did the picture go to jail? Why did the picture go to jail? Well, I'll let you respond to that real quick before I get into this market stuff. Why did the picture go to jail? Oh, Carrie, you took away everything, man. Why? Why? All right, so y'all knew that one. All right, Jerry Brown knew too. All right. Yeah, well, I liked it. I got another one. Why don't eggs tell jokes? Why don't eggs tell jokes? I got to say to that one. What y'all got to say to that one? You give up? I'm gonna just ignore Carrie. I see that. Well, this is the way you got to say it though, Carrie. Why don't eggs tell jokes? Because they'll crack each other up. Because they'll crack each other up. So Carrie was close. And I got one last one. Now this one I know nobody knows this one. Nobody knows this one. Now check this out. What do you call a cheap circumcision? This one is good. What do you call a cheap circumcision? You give up. I don't think nobody know this one. So the question is, what do you call a cheap circumcision? A ripoff. Oh man, that was good. Shout out to me, man. That was good. That was good stuff. See, Jelani be hating. Jelani would know something like that. Jelani, you just guessed that, right? Oh man, that was good. All right, let me stop bullshitting. All right, so the question was asked about 301. And I actually want to kind of give you a response that will be able to directly help you. So, and before I do that, I want to find the exact reference to give to you in response. In response. Okay, so all right, I know which one it is. So someone asked, is there a reason that you have not updated the 301 training video to incorporate the new concepts such as smaller candle dominance, RCB, and the box? Now, I actually have done that. I've actually done it several times. The first one I did that incorporated pretty much all of it is 735 in the playlist. 735 in the playlist. And these trainings, I think it was 735, 736. And then I went into the layers of stability deeper in 737. And then 739, it all really came together, the full clarity. So those videos in the playlist, 735, 36, 37, and 39. If you watch all of those, you'll be able to have a better grasp on what I'm making reference to, because I know that I talk a lot about these things when I'm on the observations. And because there's so much content, you wouldn't necessarily know that I actually did trainings on them. But I did. I did several of them. All right. So those are the videos in the playlist that you can watch as reference points for RCB, small candle dominance, all of these things that I talk about when I'm doing the observation. I actually did trainings for them as well. And yeah, that's what it is, right? Yeah, clearly. I know Carrie reads them because he knew exactly what the answers were. So those are the trainings that will help you to understand further. I think that I do a pretty good job also when I'm doing these observations. So there's a bunch of observations where I went into detail talking about the correlation between what's in 301 and then what you hear me make reference to now as far as range, barriers, clusters, small candle dominance, how that relates to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 in 301. So 301 is like the foundation, and then everything after that builds on that foundation. So literally 400 plus videos have built on 301, and then the ones that I just gave you, starting with 735, they expand and elevate your understanding of 301 with the language that I use now. So even though I'm using different language, the language means the same thing that you're learning in 301. It's not different. It's not different. It's not separate. What I also will start doing is doing the recommended trainings again. I see that will probably help to guide a lot of people because hang on a second. Yeah, so I'm gonna start doing the recommended trainings again and give more guidance. And it's important that you guys actually speak up on things that you feel you might need more of, because I wouldn't necessarily be aware if it wasn't specifically brought to my attention. But like just the fact that some people, I guess, didn't even realize that there were trainings aside from 301 that expand 301. And technically every training does that. So all of the trainings in the playlist do that from 302 on up. But the reason that I haven't really been given recommended trainings is because what I've been doing is I've been using the real-time feedback that I get from everyone, and then I'll push it out on the live observations. Does that make sense? So because I do the live observations, you kind of keep up with everything that's happening in real time. So I don't really have to recommend a training from the playlist per se to overwhelm you. That's kind of what I've been feeling. People might be a little of is overwhelmed because we're talking about hundreds of videos. There's a lot. And what's so crazy is that you literally can pick out any one of them randomly watch it and you'll feel like, oh my God, wow, I understand so much more now. Because that's how they all are. The same way that the live observations are. Like these live observations are like trainings for people in TA. For people not in TA, they are educational. You know, of course, they're inspiring, and they focus also on mindset, because mindset is super duper important if you want to be successful when you trade. If you got the wrong mindset, you can take something that you're using in trading and make it not work. All because you're greedy or you're afraid, you're fearful, whatever your issue is, you're impatient, right? If you lack patience, you'll take something good and mess it up. You'll take something that works and mess it up. So I would never want to overwhelm everyone with a bunch of stuff all at one time. But I will pick out things that I know will help based on the feedback that you give. So just like now, you know, that was brought to my attention as far as all of the new what's the word I'm looking for? Not the diction, but the new what's the word I always use for how, like the way that we talk? Language? No, it's another word. It seems like it start with a C. Somebody will tell me in a minute. But anyway, the words we use. You may not necessarily understand them at first, but after a while, you'll start to make sense out of what they mean when I say them. You know, just like it took people a while to understand what I meant when I said barrier. Yeah, TA vocabulary, pretty much. It was another word I was looking for, though. Damn, I hate when I do that. Like it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't. It's not coming out. But thank you, Jesus. Terminology. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Yes, terminology. So all the terminology used may not necessarily make that much sense to folks at first. But when you keep tuning in and listening, it starts to make sense. And not just the terminology, but the meaning of it. The meaning. Just like if I say range. If I say range to you, you automatically know what I'm saying. Automatically. Why? Well, because that's all we ever talk about. You won't really hear me talk about much else when it comes to horizontal. I'm not talking about nothing in the gray area. I ain't talking about, oh, well, you could have took that one. You know, there are exceptions. No, there's no exceptions. If the market's not slow enough, if the market doesn't have smaller candles dominating the chart for long enough, then there ain't nothing to talk about. It means that there's too much movement going on in the market at the time for the market to be stabilized for horizontal. So in order for stability to be present, there are fundamental things that the market needs to be doing as far as how it's moving. One of them, the market just needs to be staying wherever it goes. It's difficult for the market to stay where it goes if it keeps going somewhere. So it's moving here, going over there, going back over here. Always wants to go forward, now I want to go back. Reversal energy, as an example. You can have a slow market with reversal energy in it. Meaning that the market is slow, but because there's so much back and forth movement, you don't have a range yet. Then you can have a range start to manifest, and still have that reversal energy present as well. It's just on a smaller scale. In other words, it's in a tighter, smaller range. The candles are smaller, but the movement is still back and forth. And this is why I take you through the phases. So when you start with range, range is the first thing that you need to see. Why? Because when the market is showing that the smaller candles dominate, that's the first step for stability of the movement to take place. So even before the movement stabilizes, you want to see range. Sometimes the movement will stabilize before that happens, but the candles are not small enough. Why is the size of the candle so important? Because when the candles are too large, the movement can threaten the position relative to the strike. So you got to understand, on NADEX, these strikes don't move. They're in place. They're like a line in the sand. Wherever the strike price is, that's the strike price. So the market needs to move into a position that's relative to the strike price, and it needs to have the movement stable enough so that it remains in the range area. So when the candles are smaller, the range will move the market more horizontally versus vertically. See, vertical movement takes place when you have larger candles. See how big these candles are? The candles are going through the strikes. You just saw it just now. This right here, just now. Market was down here at the bottom of the box. This one candle moved up through the upper strike of the box and ended above the box. Did you see that? In one candle. So this is vertical movement. But when you have a smaller candle, see, if you look at this candle over here, just as an example, it's not that small, but it's smaller than these are. Let me see how big this candle is. Yeah, it's not even that small. It's about 7 micropips, but it's smaller than these are. So when you have a smaller candle, there's less of a chance for the movement to move outside of the box. See, the box helps you visually to see that the market is remaining within 2 levels, because the box represents 2 strike prices. The top one represents the upper strike, and the bottom of the box represents the lower strike. And the strikes are what you need in order to trade, and the strikes are what you need in order to win your trade. So you need the market to have respect for the area where the strikes are. That can't happen if the candles are going through the strikes. Look at what it's doing. Now, this is more so vertical. I'm not even looking at vertical right now, but if I was looking at the market through vertical, I would like to see this movement, and I would want to see even more movement, even more force. And these candles are pretty big. I like for vertical. But then there are certain things that we need to see when that takes place. So it's understanding what the market's doing and then how to apply the information from the way that we're trained to see the market. Because our objective is to only see the market when a trade that's going to win is presented to us in the right environment with the right behavior. Why is environment and behavior so important? Because environment ensures that you're aware of how fast or how slow the market is moving. You need to know, is this slow or fast? Is it ranging? Or does it have momentum? Oh, it almost has momentum. Oh, so there's not enough momentum. Oh, now we're in the gray area. See, the gray area is when you're not quite at where you need to be for the behavior, for your environment. For vertical, you need momentum. Why do you need that? Because it sets up the crossover. Why do you need that? When the market has so much force and momentum, it moves across the strike price. We want to know that it's going to stay across. Move and hold. So you see how behavior still applies, whether it's fast or slow? For vertical, we still want move and hold. For vertical, reversal energy is still instability, the same way it is in horizontal. And it makes sense. Why would it be any different, right? It shouldn't be any different. Why? Because it's the same market. It's the same market and the same principles that are being used. So it should not be different. See? So this is, this is always good stuff. Always. Yo, hold on a second. Yep. So, it's all about understanding how to apply the market to the platform that we're trading on. Because make no mistake about it, this platform will enrich you. You having the ability to interpret the market movement and then knowing how to apply that here on this platform literally for you means financial freedom. That's the part that I think people miss often because they concern themselves with all of the other stuff when your focus should be on acquiring the skill. By you acquiring the skill and continuously elevating and evolving it, you're ensuring your financial freedom and the maintenance of it. In other words, being able to maintain it. So it's not going to just be a one-time thing, a one-shot deal. It's going to be a lifelong skill.
I'm focused, man.
Like this is not to be played around with at all. The difference between you knowing this and not knowing this is financial freedom. That's the difference. It's very powerful when you know that one trade pays all your bills for the month. Hold up. Hold on. See, like, that's the part right there that people don't be understanding. The same thing that you're doing with your one contract, you're going to be doing when you have hundreds of contracts. You'll be doing the same thing. And that's why you have to learn the thing and learn it well. Because you know that by learning the thing, everything else will be added on to you. You see? That's how this works. And that's exactly why people that don't take the time to learn it get frustrated, because they're going to win trades, they're going to lose trades. but they're going to be even more upset when they lose trades that they don't understand why they lost in the first place. What's funny is you should be mad that you win trades that you didn't understand why you won. You should be mad at that too. Like, damn, that one won. I'm not really sure why though. See, you want the outcome, but you don't want the understanding that leads to the outcome. What's more valuable? What's more, it's the same idea as far as why people like signals. You want a signal because you want the outcome. But what if you don't know what the signal is? And you don't know what the signal is. When you sign up for some type of signal, you don't know what it is. So it's the know-how, it's the knowledge, it's the understanding of the market. Now look at the difference. You see what the market started doing now? You see how it's slowing down? And notice I said slowing down. I didn't say the market is slow, it's RCB. I didn't say that because it's not there yet. But it is slowing down relative to what it was doing a minute ago. These were some big ass candles right here, right? And even though these are smaller, they're still not small enough. Why not? Well, the smaller the candles are, the more you can rely on the behavior that takes place. I'm breaking down why. I'm breaking it down. Well, Mark, why? Why do we use smaller candles? Why do we use range? Because when the market is moving less, it does less. And if it does less, it'll do less to violate you. See, more is not always what you want the market to be doing. The market is saying, you want more? I got more. Bloop. Here you go. Here's something. I don't know where the market just moves on you while you're in the trade. You're like, damn, why did it move that way? Let me show you something crazy. Look at this. Just look at the market right now in the box. You have the market in this box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 down directional candles and 5 up directional candles in the same area, all inside the box. So it's like somebody saying, well, which direction is the market moving in? Direction is not what's taking place here. What you're seeing here is behavior. This is behavior. This ain't got nothing to do with direction. This is why taking the time to understand behavior in depth and in detail helps you to understand, well, when you get certain behavior that takes place and a trade sets up, that's the trade you want to be in. See? So this is why we learn behavior. Because as you understand how the market is moving, you'll understand why it's doing what it's doing at the time. If you know that there is already existing behavior where the market is doing sudden bursting moves, and then it pauses for a time and it stops doing that, the presence of that is there. Well, how do you know that, Mark? Because it was already doing that. So that means at some point it will return to doing that. So when I ask you, well, what's the behavior currently? You can't use what you just see right here on the chart now, because this might be the first time that you see it. Whatever the behavior is might be the first instance of it that you saw. So you need to know what dominates the chart. What behavior dominates the chart? Because the dominant behavior is the behavior. It's not the other way around. Oh, the market is slow right now. All right, but the market is not overall slow yet. See, it needs to dominate. The same way that if you're relying on vertical, you don't want the market to slow down. If you want there to be momentum, you want the market to accelerate. So if the market has more instances of it accelerating versus not, that's more so what you want to see, because you know that that behavior is dominating the market. So it's only a matter of time before the market moves into position and will potentially provide you with a trade. But that's because you are aware of behavior. You know that that behavior is present, and you're just waiting on the market to position itself. Once it does, if a trade comes, it comes. The same way that if a trade doesn't come, it doesn't come yet. Either way, it's cool. Because bottom line is that we're not taking no hits. See, we're not going to trade just to trade. We're going to trade to win. We're going to know the outcome already before we even enter the trade. Not because we're predicting, but because we're aware of what the market is already doing. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. I like this. Seek ye first the methodology of TA, and all these things will be added unto you. I like that. I like that. I understand what you're saying and working on waiting for permission, watch and observe until it is time. Value is what you place on it. Exactly. Bingo. Value is like saying, how much is it worth? Well, how much will someone pay for it? How much do you want it? Will you work to get the skill? Then the bag comes when you get value, the skill set. That's hard. That's hard. Yeah, 301 Bible all day. Oh, y'all didn't know TA was church, huh? Yep. TA is the answer. Sure is. Yeah, but so hopefully this is clarifying more and more things, because I know that there are several people in the group that do vertical. And I know that the majority of trainings are focused on horizontal because that's what, of course, we started with. The reason mainly that I incorporated vertical into what we look at is because it's really not that different. It's only a different perspective. So it's only a different way of seeing what the market is already doing. You see, I'm not going to teach you anything that you just can't see if you look at it. When you observe the market, you see vertical. So I didn't make it up. It's what the market does. And it's at the extreme opposite end of horizontal. When the market has a lot of momentum and a lot of push and force in it, one candle could move through two strikes, and often does, sometimes three. That's the extreme opposite end of horizontal, where the majority of the candles are in the box. They're not moving to the strikes at all. You see? So it's like one spectrum, one side of the spectrum, than the other side of the spectrum, but it's the same spectrum. So the same principles apply. Stability. What creates the stability? You're following me? Environment. See? Is there environment in vertical? Of course. Is there environment in horizontal? Of course. Is there behavior in vertical? Of course. Is there behavior in horizontal? Come on now. So they're the same. And that's why if you don't want to look at that perspective, you don't. And this is why I told people when I taught vertical, if you do vertical, don't do the other one. Because you don't need to be thinking about two things at the same time. Don't try to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. Just walk. Or just sit down somewhere and chew your gum. See? I never knew why they said that. We always use that phrase, don't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. I don't even get it, but I say it all the time. But I don't even get that. Why can't you walk and chew bubblegum? I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be enlightened, but I don't even get it. It's so funny that we use shit we don't even get. You ever said something your whole life and you still don't even know what it means? That's me all day. I still don't know what that means. Don't walk and chew bubblegum. What the hell do that even mean? That's more like it.
I'm focused, man.
Walk with 301 at the same time. Oh, I forgot who told me. Somebody said they up to almost 1,000 views. 900 something views of 301. Needless to say, I was thoroughly impressed. Wow. It's powerful stuff, man. See, I know for some people, like the monotony of how we train might be I don't know, maybe for some people it might annoy them. I don't know. I would imagine, however, for a basketball player that's at the top of his game, all he do is just go to the gym. Everything he does is with the basketball. For the average person, I guess, yeah, that would annoy them. Like, oh, I don't want this ball. I'm trying to sit down and eat. I don't want the ball. He don't go nowhere without the ball. See? Because he is constantly working on and perfecting his craft. So I do understand, why people might feel like the monotony is kind of annoying to them. Should be annoying to you. It should be. It's annoying your bullshit. Yep, it's annoying your bullshit. That's what it is. Nope, you just keep track. Keep track of it. I think that it's a personal thing. It's kind of like a badge of honor. I have something on my phone. When I press play on it, I know what the number is that I'm at. I'm like in the thousands. I'm in the thousands of views. But I know that people definitely are training for real because You can see how many views are on the video. It's something crazy. I saw it earlier. I glanced at it. Yep, I took a glance at it. Matter of fact, let me see some. Let me see some. Speaking of which, my friend, where we at? Oh, that's who it was that told me. Mark Z. Yeah, it was Mark Z that told me about his views. Crazy. And he also said he was going to start sharing videos and stuff. He said when he hit 1,000 views. Yeah, 980 views. Shout out to Mark Z, man. That's insane. See, what's so funny is that it's insane, but it's not. It's normal. It's normal to me. But I know when someone hears that, they're like, what? 980 views? How did he do that? On repeat. That's how he did it. After a while, you start, shit, everything just becomes 301. You walk around in your head and you're like, stability. Nope. Nope, it ain't stable yet. Nope. Nope, it's not there yet. Nope. Take it in your head. It's crazy. We had 60,415 views as of this moment. 60,300 and wait, no, 60,000 415 views. And about 10% of that is my views. 10% of that is just me. All right. Jeff says, I observe horizontal, but the more you understand stability through training, you start understanding vertical. It's one and the same, understanding stability. Yes, it is. Yep. And yes, we got to keep the BS in check. That's a fact. Factamundo. So since we've been on, market has definitely slowed down. It's still not quite there yet as far as the ranging goes, but just the fact that you're having a lot of the activity staying inside of the box for longer, that says a lot. You're literally looking at the transitioning. Like, see, it's so interesting how you start using the terminology. Like I said, people will tell me, Mark, the market's transitioning. And I know exactly what they mean. In other words, the market is shifting from one behavior to the one that we want. It's in transition. In transition means it's in the gray area. So we're not doing anything yet, but we're observing. We see that the market is shifting. And because we see it, we know ultimately that the market will eventually be in the behavior that we need it to be in at some point. So we continue to wait, continue to observe. It's really just a waiting game. That's why all of these tools are so helpful, because they just help you develop the patience that you need. It's great to have patience when you're waiting for money to come. I'm just saying. you know that the patience is going to pay. See? Just wait. Like, there's no rush. There is no rush. Next thing you know, the market is giving you RCB. Next thing you know, the trade shows up. Like, oh, here we go. And it's right there. Yep. And all from this powerful platform. Yeah, NADEX is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I realize more and more that less is more. Less is more. All right, so where we at? We at about an hour. Yeah, this is pretty good. An hour's good. I'm getting kind of tired, y'all. I think I'm gonna go straight to sleep. I ain't gonna pass go. I ain't gonna collect $200. I'm just going straight to sleep. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. How many of y'all know what that's from? Y'all all should know what that's from. Y'all should all know what that's from. Bunch of old heads in here. In this case, slow is fast, and trying to do things fast will slow you down. Bingo. Bingo. Elianta said the price is right. Yes, it is. Now, what I was talking about was don't pass go, don't collect $200. But yes, the horn was from the Price is Right. You're right. Yep, Monopoly, the infamous. They got a bunch of different versions of it now. They had some Monopoly. I was like, what the hell is this? I'm like, this ain't the Monopoly I know. And they did all type of stuff to the Uno cards too now. Like Uno is not just regular Uno no more. It's like they got all these different versions of it. One of it spit the cards out at you. I'm like, come on, man, y'all doing too much. Let's just play regular Uno. Oh man. All right, y'all. So did anyone have any questions? Remember, when we're on the observations, that's your opportunity to ask, any questions that you may have. In the playlist 730, I think it's 739. The last one I did. If you didn't watch that yet, you got to watch that. So I'm actually going to recommend that training tonight. 739 in the playlist. I may be doing another live training, perhaps next week. I'm waiting a little bit because I want to see still in the group what folks may be struggling with. And I'll try to focus on that in the live training. But I don't do them that often because we don't need them as much. See, what happens is because 301 is that strong. It literally is. It's so strong that when you just watch that and then you'll watch something else, your clarity is already there. So it's just the other training that you watch elevates your understanding of 301. You'll hear me say many times, we're not in trade mode. That is the epitome of 301. And what happens is the further away you get from trade mode, the more that you get into market mode, the more that you elevate in your understanding of what 301 is. Just think about that. What's the last thing you do in 301? What's the last phase? The last thing. The last thing is the trade. The trade is not the first thing. You see? So what people used to do, and I can honestly say that they don't do it now. Or if they do it, they don't say anything. But people used to always look for trades. And it's like, no, that's not what we're actually not looking for a trade. We're looking for phase 1 and 2 to confirm. Once that happens, then when the trade sets up, that'll be the right trade. Because it'll be the one that is at the right time. Been here for a week. When is the best time to start market observation? Whatever time you have available. There's no best time of the day, if that's what your question is. Like there's no best session. Whatever session that you end up having the time to actually observe yourself based on your schedule, that's fine. I would say the best time to observe is when you actually have the time. And if you don't have as much time as you'd like to, just try to make more time. And then start observing the market. One of the best things that you can do is watch 301 and observe the market at the same time. Or even pick out one of the live market observations and watch the market at the same time. Or take whatever the recommended training is that I give you and watch the market at the same time. Like I'm going to recommend 739 for tonight, which is the last video that I did in the playlist. That's what I'm recommending for tonight. And really for tomorrow also. So when you do observe, you want to play the training, whether it's 301 or the recommended training or a live market observation. Because what happens is when you hear the process being gone through verbally, you're hearing it audibly as I'm speaking it verbally to you through the training. It gets into you subconsciously. So now your visual starts to connect with what you're hearing me say. Just like when I say small candles in the box, right? Move and hold, right? Stability. You start to connect these words. It's just like when I say stability, you know that stability is more than one thing. Hold on. See? In other words, there's more than one layer of stability. In fact, there's a training talking about the layers of stability. Well, Mark, is that something new? No. The layers of stability is 301. The layers of stability is RCB. See, it's just different terminology, but it's all the same. It's the protocol that we use. That's all it is. It's not different. RCB is not different from MRMH. Well, Mark, you talk about 301, you talk about MRMH. Yes. Well, what's the difference between MRMH and RCB? Nothing. They're the same. RCB is just an elevated way of you understanding MRMH. There are people that thought MRMH was the trade. Are y'all following me? MRMH is not the trade. MRMH is the permission for the trade. Oh boy. It's the permission for the slave. What gives you permission? Stability. What stability? There are layers of stability. Range, barrier, cluster, small candle dominance. That's stability. When you put them all together. All of that is stability. The market is moving and it's holding. It's moving and it's remaining where it goes. That's stability. Put them all together. What happens when you have small candles and the market moving and holding? What happens? RCB happens. What's that? Permission. What's that? MRMH. So what does that mean? When a trade comes, you take the trade in your head. Why do you do that? So you can see it win. Okay, so it won. What now? Well, you still got permission? What does that mean? Is the market still stable? You following me? See, like, do y'all understand what I'm saying? You don't. You don't have permission because a trade came. You had permission because stability came. See, the level of elevation is crazy now. I know it is. Because people didn't understand it like this before. When I first did 301, people didn't understand it the way we do now. They didn't get it. It was powerful at that time. But the elevation of the understanding is crazy now. Because you cannot mess it up. See, what happens is when you actually apply what you're learning, you can't mess it up. There is no more, I got tempted. We don't get tempted to take trades. You don't have permission to take a trade. Why not? Because the market's not stable. Not because a trade didn't come first and you let it go. See, that's what people thought it was before. Oh, well, you wait for a trade to come first, right? And then that's MRMH. The first one that comes, then you take the next one. I dug a lot deeper. I kept digging and digging and digging until I got deeper. So that you begin to understand why. Why was the first trade valid? Oh, because it's set up. Wrong. The first trade was valid because phases 1 and 2 were in place. First trade was valid because stability was there. So the real permission is stability. Not the fact that a trade came. So put it like this. Many times you'll have permission and a trade won't come. Market will be stable. You'll have RCB, but no trade comes. Might have been out of position, whatever the case may be. No trade came. No trade showed up, but did you have MRMH? If you had RCB, you sure did. Because you had permission, if a trade did come, to be in that trade. See, this stuff starts to make more and more sense to you over time. It just does. And we be speaking shit into existence here. This is the first instance since we've been on here tonight that we have seen this. What's this? What's this right here, y'all? Look at this. What's this? First instance of you seeing this. Look. What'd that look like? This is how it works here. This is how it works here. First time that you saw this all night, you saw the transitioning, right? You saw how the market was transitioning to this. Now it manifests for the first time, right there, right there. All right, so we're gonna end it on that note. Yes, indeed. Married man, been in permission training for 20 years. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, we going on 11 years on the 25th of this month. Yep, 11 long ass years. Nah, 11 great ones, I must say. I must say. Yeah, Lulu was pretty awesome. All right, y'all. So let me get up out of here. So I will see you guys on the next observation. Coffee and charts, live market observation. I will be bringing the podcast back soon. I don't know when exactly. Got to make time for these things, man. I'm so busy with these kids. It's not even funny. Like for real, there's all type of stuff going on with them. Jeez, they got extracurricular activities. It never stops. This is why I'm tired now. I got to go to bed, man. I'm tired. All right, y'all. So this is volume 57. No, my bad. Volume 58. All right, y'all. I'll see you on the next one. You know what it is. Mark for the TeamAlliance. Peace.
Dom DeMarco. Dom DeMarco.
That's a fact right there. That's facts. All right, y'all. Peace.